Okay, welcome to Free Association. Now we've got sound, so that's been much better. Much better. Every time I'm in a WhatsApp group on a Saturday afternoon and I try and use Podbean later on, I end up not being able to hear what I'm not recording sound. So there's some kind of clash going on between Podbean and WhatsApp. They're both trying to control the microphone at the same time, and Podbean is losing, I think. So the solution is to reboot the phone, which is what I did, and that works. So that's problem solved. Nice and easy. Takes about 30 seconds, but it solves the problem, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. All right, I was in a long conversation this afternoon with the philosophy group that I'm part of, and I put forward the idea that we need one or two or maybe three rules for the philosophy group process that we're in. Nobody else seems to agree with that, but that's just the way things are. So apparently I'm paranoid because I don't like getting into relationships with psychopathic people who are aggressive and abusive. Yeah, if that's what makes me paranoid, then I'm paranoid. I've got no problem with it, but I just don't like it. I'm not prepared to go through it again. Been through it enough times. I'm not going to go through it again. So if they don't like rules, then I'll bow out when we get to the point where it starts to get abusive or psychotic or whatever. I'll carry on till then, but not putting too much store by this group. It's interesting. I like the people. They're not really reliable people in terms of friends. They're not going to back you up in any situation, really. They'll usually question the whole nature of the situation and take you to metaphysics. It's just not always help. But generally speaking, the conversations are good. I don't stick around all that long. I usually stick around for an hour, and today I stuck around for 2 hours, so that's better than normal. And it was a better group than normal for me, from my point of view. And we were talking about Melanie Klein and about childhood development stages and all sorts of things. All sorts of things. So I've started to look up some stuff about Melanie Klein again. I don't remember anything that I've listened to in the past, so I might pick up a few things, and I might hopefully be able to understand object relations theory at some point. I don't at the moment. I'd quite like to understand it because I think Reiki might be useful in some of those kind of situations. And I'd like to have a model to apply it to that makes sense. And object relations theory is one of those types of models. So anyway, that was my afternoon. I thought about going to the pub for a gin and tonic, but I can't be bothered. I'll be too busy on a Saturday anyway. For me, I like quiet bars, and you can't do quiet. There are no quiet bars in Newcastle on a Saturday afternoon in the middle of summer, because the place is heaving with stag parties and hen parties, and just generally speaking, the locals. I think there's also, I don't think there was a football game on this afternoon, but we must be getting to the point where the football season's about to start again. So that's another factor you've got to take into account. Like every 2 weeks, there's an extra set of football crowd people around, and it makes the place very, very, very busy indeed, usually. At least until November, when the stag parties stop coming in. Anyway, I'm just kind of rambling and saying hello. I haven't got anything really to talk about tonight. I was just going to sit online, see if anybody comes in for a conversation, which they haven't so far, and we'll see what happens. Nobody's come in, so I'm going to wrap it up at that point, and I'll see you again later on this evening.